I'm Aurora, and my journey with yoga began when this guy trusted 17-year-old me with the keys to this studio so I could clean in exchange for classes. For the past 13 years, I've dedicated my career to giving back that exact gift I was given, and now I'm here to share it with you. Welcome to Work From Home Yoga. Let's start off in child's pose. Bodhi, no, we're not gonna. Come on, come here. I know, you are just always the star of the show. Okay, child's pose. Let's begin here, closing the eyes. Finding a slow, full breath. And gently shift the forehead on the mat side to side. Starting to relax the shoulders, the arms, the upper body. Allowing the low back to release and seat toward the heels. Taking this time to check in with how you're doing today, physically, mentally, emotionally. And allowing that data to inform how we move. What poses we choose to engage with or shy away from. Staying here in stillness, take 3 full breaths. Biggest breaths that you've taken all day long, filling up to the top. And slow exhales out through the mouth to release. Take one more inhale. And exhale. Walk the hands forward toward the top of the mat and then all the way over to the left. Interlace the right hand on top of the left as you draw back through that shoulder. Pulling back through the hip. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release over to the right. And draw back, stretch the left side body. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. On 1, come back to center, shift forward onto hands and knees for tabletop pose. Cat-cow, your pace. Inhale to arch, exhale to round. Slowly waking up the spine. Creating space in the upper back between the shoulder blades. Letting the movement feel generous, fluid, and soft. And take one more round. Meet in a neutral spine. Keep the right hand planted underneath the face. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, drop down to that shoulder for thread the needle with a half bind. Reaching that right arm back behind you to wrap around, reaching for the top of that left quad. Shoulder pulls back. Subtle pressure with that arm that's on the ground, pulling the hips to the left at the same time. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. unwind, plant the hand. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, drop it down. And switch. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, fold down. Half bind. Draw back. Pull the hips to the right. Press down through that arm that's on the ground. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Unwind. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, drop it down. Walk the hands forward. Keep the hips stacked on top of the knees. Come into Puppy Dog pose, Anahatasana. You can stay on the fingertips, making tents with the hands. Pull the heart forward, either dropping the forehead or the chin toward the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Gotta lift yourself up, slide forward back into tabletop pose, and step back into plank. Start to bend into one leg, straighten into the other. Dropping the knees to hover toward the floor. And up and back into down dog. 5 breaths. Do what feels good here. Leave what doesn't. And shake the head side to side. Shake the hips side to side. And we'll come up onto the tiptoes, bend the knees, and walk the feet all the way up to the hands for standing forward fold at the top of the mat. Reach for opposite elbows for ragdoll and sway side to side. Let the upper body drape forward and fold over the legs. Crown of the head releases toward the floor. Breathe into any tight spots. And release hands back down to the floor, bend into the knees, slowly roll up to standing, chin to chest. Once you get there, sweep the arms up and overhead. Bring the palms together. Push the hips forward as you take a soft back bend. And then exhale, hands to your heart, arms by your sides, mountain pose. Close the eyes. Draw the shoulders back and down. Engage through the fingertips, reaching toward the floor. Full inhale. Full exhale. Open the eyes, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, take a cactus, lean back. Bring your arms behind you, either interlace the hands or hold on to the elbows. Lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you push the hips forward, hold for 3, 2, and 1. Bend into the knees, forward fold, keeping the knuckles lifted slightly away from the low back or keeping hands at the elbows, your choice. Take the head side to side. Keep a bend in the knees. Full breath in. Full breath out. Lift the chest, release the grip, plant the hands, walk it back, plank pose. From plank, drop down to the knees and lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes, lift the chest up, baby cobra, press back, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Take an inhale, sweep the right leg up and back. We're going to open up through the hip here, but keep the legs straight. So start to rotate so that way your toes are pointing out toward the right side of the mat. That left heel softens closer toward the floor. Kick this leg up a little higher until you feel that engagement in the right glute. Hold for 3, 2, and then 1. Square off through the hips. Now point the toes down toward the floor. Lift this leg up higher, and then bend the knee. Open up through the hip into scorpion. Roll that knee around in circles. 3 rounds each direction. And then reverse. And then from here, shift forward and step that foot outside the right hand. Drop the knee down to the floor. Lizard lunge. Pull the heart forward. Keep your back toes tucked. Both hands will stay on the mat. All we're gonna do is shift the hips back, straighten that right leg, toes toward the face, back into our lizard lunge, open up through the hip, knee goes out to the side. So plant the foot, shift the hips back, rebend, let the knee fall open. So 5 rounds like this. Ooh, this is a tough one. Let's do 2 more. The next time you shift forward into that lizard lunge, we're gonna hold it and add in a twist. So sweep your right arm back behind you. Either stay here or bend at the knee, draw the heel in toward the glute. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, cartwheel the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift that knee off the mat, and then step your left foot outside the left hand, coming into a squat at the top of the mat. Bring your hands to your heart. Compress the elbows against the knees. Press down through the feet and rise all the way up to standing. Reach up, lean back, press the hips forward, and drop your hands back down to your heart. Come back down into that squat. Plant the hands, lift the hips, heel toe the feet together, forward fold. Straighten the right leg, bend into the left, sweep the right arm up for a twist. Stay here, inhale, and exhale. Drop the hand and switch. Breathe in. Breathe out. Left hand drops, bend into the knees, step back plank pose. Drop down to the knees, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, press back, down dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, float the left leg up. Keep that leg straight, open up through the hip. Point the toes to the left side of the mat. Reaching through that heel. Lift the leg up a little higher. Feel the squeeze in the glute as the right heel softens closer down toward the floor. Then square off through the hips. Point the toes down toward the floor. Now we feel this more in the outer right hip, IT band. And then lift that leg up as high as you can. Bend the knee, open up through the hip again, scorpion. And then square off. Come high up onto the tiptoes, step that foot outside the left hand, drop the knee down. Lizard lunge, keep the toes tucked, pull the heart forward, and then shift the hips back, half splits. So rebend, toes slightly out to the left side of the mat, roll onto the outer edge of the foot, open up through the hip, replant the foot, shift back. That's 1, 5 more like this. Breath to movement. And do 2 more. The next time you rebend, we'll hold here and then sweep the left arm back. Stay here or add in, heel toward the glute. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat, tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Take a hop, step the right foot outside the hand. Drop the hips down, hands to the heart, squat. Press down through the feet, rise up, reach up. Lengthen, lean back. Exhale, drop it back down to the squat. Plant the hands, lift the hips, heel toe the feet together, and fold. Right leg straightens, right arm reaches, twist. Breathe in. Breathe out. Drop it down, switch, left arm up. Inhale. Exhale. Drop it down, plant the hands, step back plank, vinyasa. From down dog, take an inhale, sweep the right leg up and back. Keep the leg straight, open up through the hip, point the toes, lift the leg up just like we did before. Keep pressing the chest back toward that left quad. Soften the left heel toward the floor. And square off through the hips, point the toes down. Lift the leg up higher. Bend the knee, open up through the hip. And then straighten, square off, tiptoes. Step the foot outside that right hand. Drop the knee down. Back in that lizard lunge. This time, roll onto the outer edge of that foot so the knee opens up. We'll pause in the hip stretch. Stay here or drop down to the forearms or walk the hands forward and drop the chest toward the floor. So 5 breaths, really deep hip stretch. Take 1 more breath. You can lift back up. Add in this twist again, but with the knee out this time. So still staying in that hip stretch. Option to bend at the back knee, heel to glute. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, cartwheel the hands down, tuck the back toes, we'll plant the foot, lift that back knee, and then pivot to the left for wide-legged forward fold. Hands come to the outer edges of the feet. 3 breaths. Hands underneath the shoulders, lift up, rotate, facing the front of the mat. We're gonna step into our squat. Step the left foot outside the left hand. Drop your seat low, hands to the heart, press down through the feet, rise up, reach up, press the hips forward. Drop the hands back down into your squat. Plant the hands, and then this time we're walking or jumping it back to our plank pose, your choice. From there, vinyasa. Any way you want. From down dog, inhale, sweep the left leg up, open up through the hip, point the toes, engage the glute, right heel softens down. And square off through the hips, toes down, lift the leg up higher, bend the knee, open up through the hip, scorpion, square off, Tiptoe, shift forward, step the foot outside the left hand, drop the knee down. Open up through the hip, let the knee fall open toward the side. Stay here, forearms, or reach forward. 5 breaths. Take 1 more breath. Keeping the knee out to the side, sweep the left arm back. Option to draw the heel in. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Cartwheel the hands down. Plant the left foot. Tuck the back. Tuck the toes. Yeah. Lift back knee. Spin to the right. Wide-legged forward fold. 3 breaths. Lift up, rotate, face the front of the mat in your squat. Step the foot outside the right hand. Drop your seat, hands to the heart. Press down through the feet. Rise up, get tall. Drop it back down into your squat. Plant the hands, walk or jump back. Vinyasa. From down dog, drop down to the knees, shift the legs off to one side, come to a seat. Extend the left leg out, hug the right foot in, creating a 4 shape with the legs. Start to slide the left hand down, reach up and over, side bend for the right side body. 5 breaths. Rise up, press down through this right knee so you lift the hips, and then sweep this left arm around in circles. Lower back down and switch. Reach back and then up and over. Rise up, lift the hips, roll that arm around in circles. And drop back down, swing your legs out in front of you toward the top of the mat. Tall spine, take an inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, heart draws forward toward the toes, and then fold your nose toward the knees. 5 breaths. Slowly roll up, keep the chin tucked in toward the chest as you lower all the way back down on the mat. Hug the right knee in, cross it over the body for a twist. Breathe into the right side. And switch. Unwind back to center. Happy baby pose. Reaching for outer edges of the feet, the ankles, the calves, knees out toward the side, pressing down through the low back. From here, hugging the knees in toward the chest, rolling them around in circles. Couple times each direction. And releasing legs long on the mat for mini Shavasana. Closing the eyes, allowing the body to rest. Take a slow, full breath here into the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Bring some movement to the toes and fingers. Reach the arms up and overhead. Take a big stretch. Draw the knees in toward the chest. Roll over onto one side, keeping the eyes closed. Stay heavy as you lift yourself up to a seat. Once you get there, planting one hand on the heart, one hand on the low belly. Pausing to recognize your effort, your intentionality, the space you created in your body and your mind, and knowing that we can take that with us even as the physical practice ends. Draw your hands to your heart, thumbs at your chest. Together, full inhale. And exhale. Namaste.